Hi folks, my ventless gas heater won't stay lit and it keeps shutting off while I'm running it. I'm going to show you how to fix it in about 5 minutes, real easy. I'm also going to explain to you why it does that and why that's not really a bad thing. It's not like anything's broken, and it's super easy to fix. So all I need to do, for tool wise, all I need is a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, and I've got a can of compressed air. Duster air, compressed air. That's all it takes here. First thing I'm going to do is pop off the lower grill on my gas heater here. Now that's just 2 little screws at the bottom. Alright, now that should be the only piece we got to take off. Don't have to do anything else, just this lower grill and the 2 screws. Though I am probably going to take it apart a little further just to show you what the issue that's not really an issue. So nothing's broken, but it's an issue because it doesn't keep running. And I'll show you a little bit about that. So the issue with it is in the oxygen detection system. The ODS, oxygen detection system. To make these things safe to run in your house without venting exhaust, they have a system that'll detect if there's too little oxygen in the room, and it shuts off. It sounds fancy and complicated. It's really just a hunk of brass with a little piece of glass in it. It's weird, but it sure works. So, because the ventless heaters, they burn at a much higher temperature inside, they should burn up all the carbon monoxide and most of the carbon dioxide even. Should burn that up, and you get just a carbon coming out. It puts out a lot less exhaust than a standard furnace does, which is why this should be okay not to need a vent and to be used indoors without venting the gas out. But if something goes wrong in the combustion, there's a potential for that to accumulate too much of the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, or even just carbon to a level of toxicity in the room or in your home, and then your oxygen gets low because it does use up oxygen and it does put out carbon. So standard atmospheric oxygen is about 21%. That's what this baby is set to run perfect at. You get down to 18% and it won't turn on at all. You get closer to 19% and sometimes it starts shutting off now and then. But that's incredibly rare for that to actually happen because it's low oxygen. How it normally works, it starts shutting off, and eventually you just won't be able to turn it on at all. It's because there's a little dust in there, and it kind of fakes out the system, making it think that there's low oxygen, either because the pressure's wrong or because it's causing the pilot to change direction. And that's really the issue here. I'll show you a bit what I mean in the close-up. Okay, so here's the whole issue and what's going on with it. I got my pilot lit now. But if you look closely, you can see that with the thermocouple back here. Behind the little white electric igniter, the thermocouple. The pilot's supposed to be heating up the thermocouple, and it is right now. But barely. Looking at it, that pilot light is almost lifting completely off of the thermocouple. It's barely touching it, which is telling me that this little tube here needs to get cleaned out. This is the whole issue here. There's a little hole in it on this side, a little hole on the other side, and sometimes dust will collect in there through those little holes, or even if it's turned off and in storage, that's when most of the trouble starts, because then the orifice end gets full of dust too. But these little bitty holes, little dust particles get in there, get in the wrong spot, and this thing stops burning well because it's a safety issue. It says, hey, there's... Alright, now I'm going to spray the darn thing out and clean it up. Throw a little in here. Just kind of general in the area, get a little in that hole. A little back there if I can. And even a little here. And while I'm at it, I'll do a little spray in here. Alright, now that should do it. But if it doesn't do it, then I might need to take this apart a little further for just a little more cleaning. Clean that tube out. So that's what I'm going to show you now. I got just 2 small adjustable wrenches, pipe wrenches, or pliers work for this too. I'm going to put one of them on this little nut and one of them on the end of brass up here. Just pop it off. You want to be a little careful doing this because these gas lines are a bit delicate. Don't do this unless you actually have to. Come on, get in there. Alright. So now, there you go, broke it loose. Didn't break it, I just loosened it. Now I'm going to just unscrew this piece. And this will slide down with the gas tube and hang on there. There, gas tube is disconnected. This is the fancy little piece here. Now I'm going to put my wrench up here on the stainless steel part. And I'm going to put the other wrench down here on the little brass piece. It just screws in there. And just got to tighten it down a smidge. Just enough that it tightens up. Doesn't take much. I'll push this nut back up the line, careful not to damage it, and screw it in. Grab the brass and then grab this nut and just tighten it a smidge. Okay, that should do it. This thing should run just like a charm. Now, I will tell you, once in a while the thermocouple could use a cleaning off. Sometimes that causes an issue too. So while I'm at it, I'm just going to rub on the thermocouple a little bit. There's a little junk on there. Sometimes a cleaning of the thermocouple, just real light with some steel wool, makes a big difference too. Just general tips for a thermocouple. I'm just going to wipe it a little. This one's still got a lot of good life left to it. It's worn off a little bit there, but this is still fairly new. It's pretty clean. Alright, I'm going to light this puppy up. Wait a few seconds. There we go. How's that look? That is more contact on the thermocouple right there. I would call that a success. Alright, well I got my heater running now. It's staying lit this time. Great. Perfect. I actually have to do this about once a year. Either taking it out of storage or sometime during the middle of the heating season, I'll have to clean that out. Probably about once a year. It was actually recommended every 6 months by a service professional for these types of units. Clean it out about every 6 months of run time. Which, yeah, I guess that's about what I have to do once a year or so. So, I hope this fix helps you guys out as much as it helped me. It took me forever to figure out it was this easy to fix these things, and I would have saved a couple $100 on a unit if I knew I could have just fixed the first one I bought. Well, thanks for watching Northern Homesteading. Go and have a good day now. Bye.